All right, after this second loss for the Huskers this year, this one being to Colorado, there's a lot of angst, a lot of frustrations with the quarterback position, mainly starter Jeff Sims, who through 2 games has thrown, 4 interceptions. He had 3 fumbles, however you count it, 4 if you want to count the snap, and that have cost Nebraska. A lot of people were calling for him to be benched in the Colorado game. And I think more and more now are starting to wonder about the whole Casey Thompson, Jeff Sims situation. Casey Thompson had a very good season last year for Nebraska and left this offseason to go to Florida Atlantic, where he's having a strong start to the year. And I've talked to people that I know, I've seen it online. Heck, I've seen some media members make the comment that Matt Rhule made the bad decision by not keeping Casey Thompson. And I think that's kind of, I don't think we're seeing the whole process. And it's stuff like that that kind of bothers me a little bit. And if I look at this situation, I think to kind of understand where we're at, with Casey Thompson and him not being the quarterback this year, we have to really look at the details. We got to remember that Casey Thompson didn't just leave right away. He stayed throughout the spring. Matt Rhule made it all but clear that they wanted Casey Thompson. There was no notion. I heard some people, he ran Casey Thompson out the door. That wasn't the case. At no point did Rhule, this is well documented, Rhule didn't tell Casey Thompson to leave. Casey Thompson chose to leave Nebraska. Don't blame him, but he chose. And if we got to look at this situation, it's, like I said, it's well documented out there. Matt Rhule was not willing or ready to name Casey Thompson the starter, to guarantee him the starting spot. And Casey Thompson, knowing that there's Jeff Sims, who they brought in, he doesn't have a guarantee that he's going to be the starter, he left. And I don't really blame him. He didn't commit to Nebraska originally. He didn't commit to this staff. He's got 1 year left remaining in his college career. He wants to go to a place where he could play. And he went to Florida Atlantic, reuniting himself with Tom Herman, who recruited him to Texas. Don't blame him. Would I have loved for Casey Thompson to be on Nebraska's team this year? 100%. I thought Casey Thompson, during the spring, if Casey Thompson would have stayed, I think he would have beaten out Jeff Sims and been the starting quarterback this year. So we look at this from Rhule's point of view, the whole situation with this. We also got to remember, Casey Thompson wasn't at spring practice. He wasn't healthy enough. He got banged up the year before, hurt his shoulder, missed a few games, and then came back, but then had to have shoulder surgery this winter and just wasn't medically cleared to perform and play during spring practice. So Matt Rhule and his staff, they could go by and look at the film, but they also had Jeff Sims there. And I know you could say, the film last year shows that Casey Thompson is the better quarterback. I don't disagree with that. But a lot of football coaches don't view it that way. They don't say, hey, we're going to trust what we saw last year from a different staff on tape, and we're going to go with that. Name him the starter. That doesn't work that way. Plus, if they would have said, hey, we're not recruiting another quarterback, we're not going to bring in another guy, or, hey, we're going to bring in Jeff Sims, but Casey Thompson, you're the starter based off what we see on tape. Who knows if Casey Thompson's shoulder is even 100% or even not going to deteriorate or not going to hold up during the season. We don't know that. The coaching staff didn't know that. So there was no guarantee that he was... They couldn't guarantee him. No one in their right mind would have gone, okay, Casey Thompson, you're a game one, you're a starter, without having to work him out in practice, have him compete against Jeff Sims. And once again, it's well documented out there. Matt Rhule told Casey Thompson, I can't name you my starter. I can't guarantee it. And Casey Thompson chose to leave. Now, hindsight is very 2020. Jeff Sims has not played very well. Casey Thompson at Florida Atlantic has. It's easy to say, oh, he should have made that decision. You can't do that, though. And so I think this notion, we've seen prominent Husker writers or former Husker writers flat out say, he made a wrong decision with Casey Thompson. That's just idiocracy. I'm sorry. If you honestly believe that, it's total armchair quarterback hindsight 2020 because Jeff Sims isn't playing well. But we got to get over this notion. It's not Casey Thompson's fault that he left. Don't blame him. Okay? A lot of us in that situation would have done the same thing. Okay? What is this season going to bring? I don't know. But we need to start to leave Casey Thompson out of the discussion because at this point, it's just doing us more harm than good.